think there's a state of shock and obviously an element of fear that crept in. And so it's very hard to be sure how easily fear is handled.
The plunge is the worst in Wall Street history, with over $500 billion in equity lost in just one day.
Cryptoslo, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? So, title of today's video: what happens to altcoins if the stock market crashes? Well, let's just start talking about this. So, I'm just like everybody else. I've got, a little Bitcoin, and I've got a lot of altcoin bags that I've been sitting on forever. Most recently, a lot of the alts have slipped a little bit, by 10%. And just overall, the portfolio value of the alts is down. And it really has me thinking about a lot of these speculative coins, RSR, this, that. And the reality is, a lot of these are not making any money. They're not being used for anything other than holding. And there's no value being transferred into them. They're not a stable coin. Now, a coin like Tron, it has a use. It's used in gaming. IOST, it's used in gaming. In dApps, decentralized finance. ETH, used in decentralized finance. Maker and DAI, value gets transferred into them. So, I think, the stock market, it's literally on the edge of just busting. There's a lot of bad signs. The index curve yield is inverted. There's a lot of other things going on. And I don't know if you read the recent article that said actual Bitcoin dominance, if you take into account liquidity, which means there's buyers, there's volume. Based on the volume, that Bitcoin dominance is 90%. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Bitcoin is a store of value. It is what everybody wants. And ultimately, what I'm thinking, if the stock market, traditional stock market, does crash, that the alts are going to get absolutely destroyed. I would think you'll possibly see a contraction, of 75 to 85%. And I know that sounds very extreme. Now, what do I think will happen to Bitcoin? Well, I think it's actually the opposite. I think that there may be a flood of people trying to protect their core store of value, and they're either going to be tethered or they're going to be in Bitcoin. And I just really think a lot of these alts, even though the prices seem low, that there is a very high risk of a severe contraction that will just plain and simply be hard to overcome if there is a rush for liquidity. So remember what happens whenever things start crashing and there's FUD and there's negativity, there's always a rush for liquidity, which means people will force sell at market prices, and they will undercut each other in order to, get back to liquidity. Or in this case, get back to Bitcoin or, USD or T. So I'm going to be looking at some of my altcoin bags, and if they're close to breaking even or, close, and I ask myself, number one, is it a real cryptocurrency? Number two, what is the value proposition of the coin that I'm holding? Like VeChain. I really like VeChain. It's being used for something. So that one's kind of in the middle, on whether to hold or not. Projects like RSR, it's a total moon bag, and the reality is, they're trying to create a payment mechanism, and there's just, the competition is so huge. So I think in the next week or two, I'm going to consolidate some of my non-Tron and non-BTC, like my altcoins, and move a little heavier into Bitcoin, as you know, the market basically is on the brink of who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, these altcoin bags, they're just not showing any strength. The liquidity is low, and there's just too many of them on the market right now. But yeah, just a really high risk of a contraction of your portfolio if things go south. So that's today's thought. What do you think? What do you think of your altcoins? What altcoins are you holding in your bag? You know, that you think. What is the value proposition of them? Comment, like below. Let me know what you think. If you like this content and you want to stay up to date on the latest cryptocurrency news and investing and dApps, hit that subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking games, then we're not talking.